Histology, these organs that we have in the digestive system, they're going to have 4 layers. They're going to be mucosa, submucosa, muscularis, and serosa, right? That's what you see right here, the 4 layers, no matter where you look, but they're going to have these 4 layers. So if we scroll down right here, you see the muscularis right there. Right? So then that's what you have right there. So we scroll down right here. This is the figure, for example, of the esophagus. You have here the muscle, so mucosa right here. Esophagus is the tube that basically takes the food from your mouth to your stomach. So here's the stomach. Here you have a figure of the stomach, right? Those are the muscles right there. Having here again, that's different areas, mucosa, submucosa, muscularis, and serosa. You have the 4 layers right there. In the stomach, we're going to have glands in which you're going to have a lot of cells because these cells are going to produce different things. For example, acid. What are we going to do with the acid? We're going to digest food, right? Nutrients. Then how come the acid does not digest the stomach? Well, because obviously the stomach is going to have something to protect it, and it's going to be mucus. Where do you think the mucus comes from? Well, it's also going to be produced by a cell. As you can understand in here, in the stomach, you must have at least 2 different types of cells, right? One that produces the acid and the other one that produces the mucus that protect the stomach. Right? That's why you can see here that they are showing here different colors, right? To show you that you're going to have in there, obviously, different cells that are going to perform different functions. So in our stomach, we not only need the acid, for example, and the mucus, we also are going to need other substances, but these substances are going to be produced by the cells that you have right here in these gastric glands. The cells that you're going to have in there are going to be parietal cells, mucus cells, enteroendocrine cells. We're going to have this gastric gland right here. In there, you're going to have a lot of different type of cells. Okay? And this is the way you're going to see the stomach. Okay, this is kind of like, it's like that. Okay, and you can see here the gastric glands right there. So then that's that. So then if we scroll down right here, now we see the intestines. The intestines also is going to have the 4 layers as we mentioned before, but the intestines, contrary to the stomach, the main job that they're going to have is going to be to absorb the nutrients. In order to absorb the nutrients, the intestines are going to have certain characteristics. They are going to be these ones, the circular folds, as you can see right here, these ones right there. Those are going to be the circular folds right here. In these circular folds, you're going to have these finger-like extensions that you can see right there. They're going to be called villi. We're going to magnify that. This is what you're going to see right there. Those are going to be the villi there. Okay, in the villi, you're going to have some enzymes right there. They're going to be called the brush border enzymes, and which are going to be these ones right here. The villi also have these tiny ones right there, microvilli right there. So then what's the purpose of these circular folds, these villi, and these microvilli? The job of this is to actually extend the area of absorption that you have in your intestines. So then if we keep scrolling down right here, you can see here how these villi and the microvilli are going to look like. So these are the finger-like extensions right here that we're going to have. Right? So these ones are going to be the villi right there. And obviously right here on top of that, you're going to have the microvilli. And in here in the border, you're going to have the brush border enzymes that are going to help us with digestion. So then if we scroll down right here, we have what I just mentioned in there, the villi, the microvilli that are going to be basically help us to absorb the nutrients. After that, we're going to have right here, this is the pancreas. The pancreas is going to have 2 main functions. One of them is related to the endocrine system, and the other one is related to the digestive system. The one that is related to the endocrine system is this part right here, this kind of pink right here is going to be the pancreatic islet. Here's where we are going to produce insulin, glucagon, somatostatin, etc., etc. Now, the digestive system. The digestive system basically is going to be related to these glands right there, are the ones that are going to produce the pancreatic juices. The pancreatic juices are going to have the enzymes necessary to digest the nutrients. We have the main nutrients that we're going to have are going to be carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins. Right? And then the main enzymes that we're going to use in order to digest these nutrients are going to come from the pancreatic juices that are going to produce in these glands, which are going to be assigned glands right there. And we keep going down. When you cut the liver and you put in the microscope, you're going to see that the cells in the liver are going to be this kind of like cubes. So then these cubes are going to be next to each other, forming like a train like that. And they're going to form this hexagonal structure that you can see right here. Okay, and this is what you see right here. So when you look at the real picture, see actually matches more or less with my drawing right there. Right, where you can see the hexagon, right? And in there you can see that these lines, which are going to be the hepatocytes right there, right? So these lines right there, those are going to be the hepatocytes going this way. They go towards the center where you have a central vein. You have in the central vein right there, but on the corner of each of this hexagon, right? In each corner, basically right here, what you're going to have are going to be a set of 3 tubes. One of them is going to be the arterial, the other one is going to be the venule, and the other one is going to be the bile duct, with this one in green. So you have these 3 structures in there. This is going to be called the hepatic triad or the portal triad. Oh, you have the name right here, portal triad, right? As I said, this is going to be the bile duct, portal venule, and hepatic arterial. The job of the hepatocytes is to detoxify the blood from substances that we don't need, right? But another very important function that is related to the digestive system is the formation of bile, right? So then this hepatocyte will create the bile, and the bile will be transported by these green tubes right there, which I said are going to be the bile ducts, as you can see right there. Now you have in here a cut of a tooth, right? Where you can see you have a crown, you have the root right here. But those basically the main things that you need to know about this. Here we have digestion of nutrients. But the digestions, which ones are the main nutrients? We have 3 main nutrients, right? We have proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids. Nucleic acids are also digested. So in here, carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids, for example, right? Where do we start the digestion of carbohydrates? That one basically starts at the level of your mouth with the salivary amylase, as you can see right here. Proteins and lipids, no, that doesn't happen in the mouth, right? Then protein digestion starts basically in your stomach. As I mentioned before, I told you that in your stomach, you're going to have individual cells that are going to produce different substances, such as the mucus and the acid. But I told you that some other cells are going to produce pepsinogen, right? This one right here. Pepsinogen is going to produce by one of the cells in your stomach. I mean, to be more specific, the chief cell. And the pepsinogen eventually, in the presence of the acid, will turn into pepsin. And pepsin is one of the first enzymes that we're going to use in order to digest proteins, as you can see right there. So if we scroll down, obviously, after we digest that in the stomach, then most of the lipids, the digestion of that is going to happen basically in the intestines right there. Okay, in the intestines, what we're going to have is going to be the bile from the liver that is going to emulsify basically these big molecules of fat. They're going to turn into small molecules of fat. And from there, the pancreatic enzymes eventually are going to pulverize the proteins, the carbohydrates, and the lipids to a size that we can actually absorb into cells in our intestines. Okay, so then if we scroll down right here, we can see in there how we have the big fat molecules right here. What's the job of the bile? Basically, the job of the bile is just emulsification, meaning these big pieces of fat, we're going to make in small pieces of fat. Can we absorb that? No, that's way too big for our cells. And that's when the pancreatic enzymes are going to work, digesting these fat molecules into very tiny pieces, basically into free fatty acids and glycerol, so we can absorb that into our intestines. So if we keep moving right here, chylomicron is going to be produced at the level of your intestines, but we cannot absorb fats directly into our blood. Right? Number one, because fat and water don't mix, but also because these chylomicrons are way too big in order to enter the capillaries. That's another reason why we can actually put in our blood, but they are going to be transported by the lacteals. So then if we scroll down right here, tests. So there's going to be 3 tests in here. One of them is carbohydrate test. The other one is going to be protein test right here, test for protein digestion. And then the other one is going to be for lipid digestion right here, lipid emulsification.